everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Krista. I'm from Spirit and Thread Crochet, and today I'm going to show you how to make this simple crochet bandeau bralette. Here's how it ties in the back. This is a mostly made to fit pattern using just a handful of stitches. It's super quick. You can do it in an afternoon before your beach trip. So let's get started. So for this project, you're going to need a size 4 and 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, a tapestry needle and some scissors, and some size 3 or 4 yarn. I prefer working with cotton yarn. I'm going to be using some scrap yarn that I have, but I'll have some yarn recommendations linked in the description. So I picked 3 different colors because I want my straps to be multicolored, but the base of my project is going to be this yarn here. And this is 2 strands of size 2 yarn to make a total of about a worsted weight. So I'm going to begin with this base color and with a size 4 millimeter crochet hook. You're going to start by chaining until you reach the length of the width of your bralette, not around your waist, but that'll cover your bust. So for me, a size small, I'm going to chain 26, but I will have some size recommendations in the description as well. And for a size extra small, I recommend 20 chains, for a size small, 26, for a size medium, 32, and for a size large, 38. So go ahead and chain until you reach one of those numbers or your desired width. I just chained 26. Now I'm going to chain one more to be my turning chain, and then I'm going to single crochet into the second chain from my hook and single crochet in each chain across. So the number of single crochets in this row will match the number of chains in your first row. I'm placing my final few single crochet, and after my last single crochet in my final chain, I'm going to switch my hooks to my size 5.5 millimeter hook. And now we're going to begin our moss stitches. But first, do a little check to make sure the width of your bandeau minus 2 more single crochet rows will add to the border is approximately the width that you'd like for your coverage. When you're ready, chain 2 and turn, and we're going to begin our moss stitch rows. So here's how the moss stitches will work. You're going to chain 2 and turn, and then in the 1, 2, 3, 4th stitch from your hook, you're going to single crochet. So you skipped over your 2 chains and your first stitch here and went into your second single crochet. Then you're going to chain 1, skip 1, and single crochet, and repeat that across. So again, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, and repeat that across until you reach your final stitch. I'm placing my final few moss stitches, chain 1, skip 1, and single crochet in my final stitch. Here's how your project will look so far. And now I'm going to show you the moss stitch row that you're going to repeat for quite some time. So we'll chain 2, turn our work, single crochet into your next chain 1 space, chain 1, skip over this single crochet and single crochet into the next chain 1 space, and repeat across. Chain 1, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, all the way down. And you're going to repeat this until you reach your turning chain 2. You're going to chain after your final single crochet in your final chain 1 space, chain 1, skip over this single crochet, and single crochet into this turning chain 2. Here's how your project should be looking. You're going to repeat that row until about half of your bralette is done. So I'm going to show you it one more time. Chain 2 and turn, single crochet into your next chain 1 space, chain 1, single crochet into your next chain 1 space, and repeat that across until only your chain 2 remains. Then you will single crochet into that chain 2. You're going to keep on repeating these moss stitch rows until the length of your rectangle that you've created wraps from the middle of your back to the middle of your front minus 1.5 inches. And that's because we'll have a few more rows to add and we'll have a little middle detail to add. So continue repeating this row until 1.5 inches remain when you measure from the middle of your back to the middle of your front, about half of your bralette. And it's important to note when you're measuring this on yourself or on a dress form to make sure that you're stretching it about as much as you'll stretch when you wear it, because the moss stitches you'll find are pretty flexible. So you don't want to have it stretched too taut, but have it stretched the appropriate amount that it will be when you're wearing it, so that you don't accidentally make this too big or too small to wrap around your bust. I'll meet you back here when the first half of your bralette is complete. I just finished my final single crochet moss row, and you'll see how stretchy this can become. So again, remember to try this on yourself or on a dress form to make sure that it covers 1/2 of the distance you'd like your bandeau to be, minus 1.5 inches here. As you'll see, we're going to add another double crochet row here, and we'll have single crochet border rows and waistband loops. So for me, my distance is all done. I have a total of 45 moss rows, and now I'm going to begin my center double crochet moss rows where I'm going to feed my straps through. So to do that, we're going to turn our work and chain 3 instead of chaining 2. Next, I'm going to double crochet into the first chain 1 space. Then chain 1 and double crochet into the next chain 1 space. So essentially we're replacing the single crochets in our previous moss stitch rows with a double crochet. Chain 1, skip over the single crochet, and double crochet into that chain 1 space. I'm going to repeat that across this row. I'm approaching my turning chain 2, and in that turning chain 2 I am going to place my final double crochet. That's how this will look. Now I'm going to chain 3 again and repeat. Turn my work, double crochet into my first chain 1 space, then chain 1, skip over this double crochet, and double crochet into the next chain 1 space, and repeat that across. We're creating these loops where we can weave our neck strap through and create that bunched effect on the bandeau. I'm approaching my turning chain 3, and in that turning chain 3 I'll place my final double crochet. And here, this is going to go between your bust, and this is where we'll weave our straps through to pull this a bit tight and lift this up around your neck. So now we're going to return to our single crochet moss row. To do that, we will return to a turning chain 2, and single crochet in our next chain 1 space, chain 1, single crochet into the next chain 1, repeat that across, and once you get to your turning chain 3, you'll place your final single crochet into that turning chain 3, like this. Now I'm going to continue adding single crochet moss stitch rows. So that's chain 2, turn my work, single crochet into my next chain 1 space, chain 1, single crochet into my next chain 1 space, and repeat that across, placing a single crochet in the final turning chain 2. You're going to continue adding single crochet moss stitch rows until you have the same number of single crochet moss stitch rows on the second side as you do on your first side. So go ahead and continue adding these rows until both sides of your bandeau match. I just finished my final moss stitch row so that both sides of my bandeau are the same length. So now I'm ready to begin my waistband loop rows and my border rows. So for these rows, I'm going to change from my 5.5mm hook back to my 4mm hook. And I actually have one final row before beginning the border section. If you remember on the first side here, we had a single crochet row with our 4mm hook. We're going to even out the second side to match. So to do that, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and single crochet into each single crochet and each chain 1 space. Single crochet, chain 1, and in each of these along, I'm placing a single crochet with my 4mm hook. This creates a nice flat workable edge for us to then add our waistband loop rows to. I'm just about done. Single crochet into my final single crochet and into my chain 2. And now I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and create my first side of a waistband loops. This will be where we weave our waistband tie through to secure this around our back. So chain 1 and turn, skip your first stitch, and in the second stitch, single crochet. Then you're going to chain 4, skip 1, and single crochet into your next. And you'll see we just created a little loop that you'll be able to weave through. You can place these waistband loops distributed throughout this row however you'd like. I'm going to place about 4 or 5 stitches between each waistband loop row, but they all look the same. It's a single crochet, chain 4, skip 1, single crochet. And depending on how long you made your initial chain, you may want to have more or fewer waistband loops. But again, I'm putting about 4 or 5 single crochets between each loop. The exact number will depend on how many stitches I have left here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, skip 1. I'm going to put 5 single crochets between my final 2 loops. And then again, chain 4, skip 1. I'm going to single crochet in my second to last single crochet. We're going to leave this last one kind of unworked, because then we will turn our work 90 degrees to begin working along this long edge here So I'm going to single crochet in that next stitch, kind of the side of that unworked single crochet, and then into each moss stitch row across. One single crochet per single crochet moss stitch row. And here's how that'll look. It'll flatten out this edge for us. And you're going to continue to place one single crochet per row until you reach your double crochet moss stitches in the center. I reached my double crochet row here. I'm going to place 2 single crochets in the first double crochet row, 2 in the second, and then continue to single crochet in each of the single crochet moss stitch rows. I'm placing my final few single crochets in these rows. I'm going to kind of fold my tail in here so I can single crochet over it. This makes it a little easier to secure your ends. And then I'm going to single crochet into my first single crochet row on the opposite short side, and you can see it's kind of wrapping around. I'm going to turn my work 90 degrees and create my next set of waistband loops. I'm going to single crochet into my next stitch, chain 4, skip 1, and then space out my waistband loops to mirror how they looked on the other side. So my bottommost waistband loops had 5 single crochets between them. I'm going to repeat that on this side. Chain 4, skip 1, single crochet, and then I had 4 between the rest. Chain 4, skip 1, and space these out however feels right for you and your top. Getting to the end here, I'm going to chain 4, skip 1, single crochet, and turn my work so that I can work along this long edge here. So again, I'm going to single crochet into the next single crochet here and into each single crochet moss row across. You're going to repeat the same steps as your other long side, where you single crochet 1 time in each single crochet row and 2 times in each double crochet row. So go ahead and repeat those steps, and I will meet you at the end of this long edge. And back to my other side here, I'm going to slip stitch into the first, actually I have 1 more single crochet, and now I'm going to slip stitch into the first single crochet of this border round. Now I'm going to chain 1 and flip my work so that I can add another row along each of these 4 sides. So for this first long top edge, we're going to skip the first single crochet and slip stitch into each single crochet from our previous round. This is going to add a nice refined final look. So go ahead and slip stitch into each single crochet along this long edge. I'm at the end of my long edge. I'm going to skip over the first single crochet of the first waistband loop, and then I'm going to place 5 single crochets inside that chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to skip the first single crochet between my waistband loops. I'm going to single crochet into the next single crochet until only one remains before the next waistband loop. And then I'm going to single crochet 5 times into the next waistband loop. Again, I'm going to skip the first single crochet in the middle ones, and skip the final single crochet, and then single crochet 5 times inside that chain 4, and repeat that across. Skip the first, single crochet in all remaining, excluding the last, then single crochet 5 times into your waistband loop. And repeat that between all waistband loops. 3, 4, 5. All right, I'm going to skip the final single crochet of this short edge and begin to slip stitch along this next long top edge. So go ahead and slip stitch in each of these and meet me back here once you get to this next side. Now approaching the end of this long edge, slip stitch into my final single crochet along this edge. I'm going to skip the first single crochet before my first waistband loop. Single crochet 5 times into that loop, and then repeat the same steps from the first short side, where I skip my first single crochet into the next single crochets, excluding the final one, and then place 5 single crochet into my next waistband loop, skip the first and last of this next bunch, and single crochet in the others, and then place 5 single crochet into the next waistband loop, and repeat until all waistband loops have a nice border. I'm placing 5 single crochet in my final waistband loop. And then I'm going to slip stitch into my first stitch of this round, fasten off, and I am done with the main body portion of this bandeau. Next, I would recommend sewing in all of your ends. I'm going to chain about 24 to 36 inches to become the strap that will weave through these loops and tie this around my waist, around my bust, I should say. So I'm just going to chain to create a simple strap of about 24 to 36 inches that I'm then going to connect these loops together with. I just finished my waistband strap, so I'm going to show you how that will weave around your back. You're going to tie it up just like shoelaces. So starting in the 2 bottom waistband loops, and then you cross each side over and repeat moving up. And again, this will be around your back, and your double crochet rows will be around your front. So that's how this will look in the back. And our final step is going to be creating a tie that will weave through here, cinch up a bit between your bust, and then tie around your neck. So you can chain a strap just like you just did if you want a solid color or even mixing colors and creating a thicker chain. I want to have a tricolor chain and I want it to be braided. So I'm going to use 3 different colors of yarn, 2 strands of size 2 or 1 strand of worsted weight, and I'm going to create a braided strap that's again about 36 inches long. And that will go around my neck, through my first set of double crochets going downward, then through the other side of double crochets going upward, and then around my neck on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and create my braided long neck strap and meet you back here in a moment. I have my braided strap ready, and I actually ended up doubling yarn for each color. So it was 4 strands of size 2 or 2 strands of size 3 or 4. I love how it looks braided. So now to weave this through here, you're going to find what will become the bottom of your bandeau, and you are going to insert one end from the back or the wrong side to the front or the right side of your project through these bottom double crochet loops. Make sure the length on both sides is even. And now on both sides here, we're going to weave the end of our strap through these double crochet spaces. I kind of like to lead with the knot at the end and push the knot through the loop, pull it out the other side. We are going to repeat that until we've woven through all of these open loops. And then repeat on the other side. Now these straps from the center are a bit less supportive than they would be if they were kind of in the conventional strap space over here. So if you try this out, you realize this really isn't providing the support that you need, feel free to attach straps here instead. But this is how it'll look when it's cinched up. You can tie a knot at the top if you'd like to have it hold your desired level of cinch, or you can leave it looser if you want more of that strap to show. It's totally up to you. So here it is. It's tied around my back, and I tied my front straps around the top stitch here to kind of cinch it up, create more of that bralette kind of shape with distinct cups. And I'm just tying this around my neck. And here it is. You're ready for the beach, wear this underneath a cardigan or a high-waisted skirt, take it on vacation, whatever you'd like. I'm wearing pasties under this bralette. I would recommend it because this stitch is a bit looser, but it's totally up to you. I hope you loved this tutorial and found it helpful and fun. If you have any feedback or questions, please comment below. And if you want to see more tutorials like this, please like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps. Thanks for joining today. Happy crocheting!